Did you know your favorite chocolate treat was once used as money? Long before it became a sweet indulgence, cacao beans were so valuable that entire civilizations built their economies around them. In ancient Mesoamerica, especially among the Aztecs, cacao beans weren't just food, they were currency, traded in bustling markets and used in daily transactions. You could buy a turkey for 100 beans, a price that made cacao more precious than many metals at the time, or a single tomato for just one bean. Imagine the power of a handful of cacao in your pocket. Imagine paying for groceries with the same ingredient you'd use to bake a cake. Cacao beans were accepted everywhere, from small stalls to grand feasts. This wasn't just a quirky custom, it was a sophisticated economic system, with rules, regulations, and even taxes paid in cacao. The value of cacao was standardized, weighed and counted with care, to ensure fairness in every deal. And just like with any currency, counterfeiters tried to cheat the system. Some beans were hollowed out and filled with dirt or clay to mimic the real thing. Cacao was more than money. It was a symbol of wealth, power, and even divinity, treasured by rulers and commoners alike. The beans were considered gifts from the gods, used in religious ceremonies for birth, marriage, and death, marking life's most important moments. Trading cacao meant exchanging something sacred, not just a crop. Every transaction carried spiritual significance. Its dual role as currency and holy object gave it a unique place in society, shaping culture and belief for generations. The idea of chocolate as a luxury has deep historical roots, stretching back to when only the elite could afford to drink or eat it. Its value was measured in its power to buy goods, pay taxes, and connect with the divine, a true measure of status and influence. The journey from currency to comfort food is long, but it all began with a bean that was once better than gold, shaping economies and cultures. Next time you savor chocolate, remember, you're tasting history and a legacy that's richer than you ever imagined. How did ancient societies actually use cacao? The story of chocolate begins thousands of years ago, deep in the rainforests of Mesoamerica, where the cacao tree was first discovered and revered. For the Mayans and Aztecs, chocolate was a drink, bitter, frothy, and reserved for the elite. It was not the sweet treat we know today, but a sacred beverage, believed to be a gift from the gods. Cacao trees were hard to cultivate, making the beans rare and valuable. Only those with power and influence could access this precious resource. Preparing the drink was a ritual. Beans were harvested, fermented, roasted, and handled with care, as every step was steeped in tradition. The beans were then ground into a rich, aromatic paste using stone tools, a process that required skill and patience. This paste was mixed with water and spices, transforming it into a complex and invigorating drink. The mixture was poured back and forth between vessels to create a prized foam, a sign of quality and care. Forget modern hot chocolate. This was unsweetened, intense, and often spiced with chili, giving it a fiery kick. Sometimes vanilla or fragrant flowers were added, creating a drink that was both exotic and deeply symbolic. The result? A complex, invigorating beverage, fueling warriors before battle and energizing participants in sacred ceremonies. Drinking chocolate was a status symbol, served at royal feasts, diplomatic meetings, and important celebrations. Ornate vessels reflected its importance, often decorated with symbols of power and divinity. For ancient Mesoamericans, chocolate was more than food. It was an experience of power, tradition, and spiritual connection. Only the privileged could taste it, and to drink chocolate was to be part of an exclusive world. It was a mark of social standing, a way to display wealth and influence. The drink's cultural significance was immense, connecting the elite to the divine and reinforcing their place in society. It was a taste of power, divinity, and tradition in a single cup, an experience that transcended the ordinary. Chocolate was the fuel of empires, long before it became a global comfort food, shaping rituals and societies. Its legacy as a drink for gods and warriors still echoes in every cup today, reminding us of its extraordinary origins. The story of chocolate is just getting started, and its journey from sacred ritual to everyday delight continues to inspire. The first chocolate drink was nothing like today's sweet treats. Its dominant flavor was bitterness, pure, potent, and unmasked by sugar. The Mayans and Aztecs valued this intensity, seeing it as a sign of authenticity. The drink was thick, gritty, and often served cool, with undissolved cacao particles giving it a substantial texture. foam was prized, symbolizing a well-made beverage. Additives like chili provided a spicy kick, while maize thickened the drink and added subtle sweetness. Other ingredients, honey, allspice, and flowers, layered in complexity. For an Aztec noble, chocolate was a cool, foamy, bitter, and spicy drink, designed to awaken the senses and signify status. It was a serious beverage for serious occasions. The idea of chocolate as a sweet treat was still centuries away. Only after crossing the ocean would chocolate meet sugar and its destiny. The transformation was about to begin. Chocolate's story changed dramatically in the 16th century. Spanish explorers encountered the Aztec chocolate drink and were initially unimpressed. Too bitter, too strange. But they saw its value as currency and a stimulant, and soon shipped cacao beans back to Spain. Chocolate arrived in Europe as a curiosity, medicine, and secret luxury. Spanish monks experimented, adapting the recipe to European tastes. They served it hot, omitted chili, and added familiar spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. The real revolution? Sugar. Sweetened chocolate became a decadent indulgence for Spanish aristocrats. It was expensive, exclusive, and a symbol of status. For nearly a century, Spain kept chocolate a secret. But word spread, and soon chocolate fever swept across Europe. Chocolate houses opened in major cities, and the obsession grew. The transformation from bitter ritual to sweet luxury was complete. Chocolate was now a European sensation. Adding sugar didn't just sweeten chocolate, it changed its destiny. What was once a bitter, sacred drink became a sweet pleasure for European elites. Sugar made chocolate accessible and desirable, fueling its spread across the continent. Chocolate houses became the gathering places of the rich, where drinking chocolate was a ritual of status. But this new demand had a dark side. Plantations in the Americas and Africa relied on enslaved labor to produce cacao and sugar. The sweet treat was built on bitter exploitation. For centuries, chocolate remained a luxury for the wealthy. But the Industrial Revolution was about to change everything, making chocolate available to the masses. The stage was set for chocolate's next transformation. A new era was about to begin. For centuries, chocolate was only a drink, rich, luxurious, and reserved for the elite. It was enjoyed in steaming cups, often flavored with spices, and considered a delicacy across Europe and the Americas. Solid chocolate was impossible due to the bean's natural fat, which made it difficult to mold or shape. The cocoa butter kept chocolate soft and oily, so it simply couldn't hold a form. The breakthrough came in 1828 when Dutch chemist Konrad van Houten invented the cocoa press, a revolutionary machine that would change chocolate forever. This device separated cocoa powder from cacao butter, allowing for new possibilities in chocolate making. For the first time, it became possible to create solid chocolate, something that could be held, shaped, and even shared. In 1847, J.S. Fry and Sons mixed cocoa powder, cacao butter, and sugar to make the very first chocolate bar, marking a turning point in chocolate history. The result was coarse and bitter, far from the creamy chocolate we know today, but it was revolutionary. For the first time, chocolate could now be eaten, not just drunk, opening up a whole new world of enjoyment. This innovation made chocolate portable, shareable, and ready for mass production, transforming it from a luxury to a treat for many. Companies like Fry's and Cadbury began making eating chocolate for a wider audience, bringing chocolate bars to shop shelves everywhere. The chocolate bar was born, but it was still rough around the edges, grainy, uneven, and not yet the smooth treat we crave today. The final steps to creamy, smooth chocolate were just ahead, as inventors searched for ways to refine both taste and texture. Swiss inventors would soon perfect the process, introducing new techniques that would make chocolate silkier and more delicious than ever before. Chocolate was on its way to becoming the world's favorite treat, enjoyed by people of all ages and backgrounds. The age of mass-market chocolate had begun, with factories producing thousands of bars every day to satisfy growing demand. The best was yet to come, as chocolate continued to evolve into the beloved treat we know today. Early chocolate bars were gritty and brittle, but Swiss innovation changed everything. In 1875, Daniel Peter used Henri Nestlé's powdered milk to create the first milk chocolate bar, creamy, mild, and instantly popular. Just a few years later, Rodolphe Lindt invented the Conchet, a machine that mixed and aerated chocolate for hours. The result? silky smooth, melt-in-your-mouth chocolate. Conching perfected the texture and flavor, making chocolate irresistible. With the cocoa press, milk chocolate, and conching, all the elements of modern chocolate were in place. Mass production was now possible. Chocolate was no longer just for the elite, it was for everyone. The industrial age had democratized chocolate. The world's love affair with chocolate was unstoppable. The modern chocolate bar was here to stay. Today, chocolate is a global phenomenon worth over $150 billion a year. The world consumes more than 7.5 million metric tons of cocoa annually. While cacao originated in the Americas, over 70% now comes from West Africa. Europe leads in chocolate consumption. Swiss people eat nearly 20 pounds per year. The US is a massive market, but with lower per capita consumption. The industry is dominated by big corporations, but craft chocolate makers are rising, focusing on quality and ethical sourcing. Chocolate connects farmers in the tropics with consumers worldwide. It's a universal language of comfort and celebration. From currency to commodity, chocolate's journey is reflected in these numbers. Its reach keeps growing, touching billions of lives every day. Chocolate's journey is a story of transformation. From sacred currency and bitter drink in ancient Mesoamerica to sweet luxury in Europe, its value has always been profound. Sugar and technology turned it from an elite indulgence into a treat for all. The Industrial Revolution made chocolate bars possible, bringing comfort to the masses. Chocolate's story mirrors our own: exploration, innovation, and even exploitation. It's a single ingredient, endlessly reinvented, yet always retaining its magic. From warriors to children, chocolate has touched every generation. Its journey shows how one small thing can change the world and be changed by it. The allure of chocolate endures, as powerful today as it was thousands of years ago. Every bite is a taste of history, culture, and human ingenuity.